The Independent School District is known for our one-of-a-kind Pathways program. With this program comes downfalls, one being making a decision early. What does the student body think of this?
Do you feel like the school forces you to make a decision early so you can be successful?
I think that's part of the biggest problem. Mr. Huber talked about this, is that this sort of pathways system of saying, choose if you want to be in STEM, public service, etc., is kind of horrific because it suggests that this is the decision that will lead to your future and guides you for probably 4 years of your life. And most people don't know what they want to do until they're like 27 years old. I know I sure don't. I mean, I think it's ridiculous to push somebody in a certain direction when there's like a lot of things about the world that exist.
Oh, 110% I feel like that. Even just with, I know I mentioned AP Euro, so the AP test is something that we take at the end of the year. And it's a pretty big commitment for me. I'm not just going to say on a whim one day, yeah, I'm going to shell out $100 in my entire Saturday to take this test for college credit. I need to evaluate what goes into that, evaluate what I have going on in my personal life if I want to pay that much money. But the school kept hassling me for about a whole month. They sent 4 copies of the form, and they sent me to the counselor's office twice because they wanted me to just say yes, right? Just give out the money, take the test. And I said, no, I don't want to just do that. I need to evaluate if this is a good decision for me. And, you know, making us fill out these forms, I'm sure you've all filled out the forms, whether it be in like some sort of social studies class or English class, like the college interest forms where you put your email on there. Now I put my email on there and I get all these tons of colleges, you know, telling me why I should choose them. And frankly, I don't even know at this point if I even want to go to college right now because of the cost, and I just feel burnt out by the whole system of it all, really. And I think it's just feeding the machine. I don't want to feed the machine. I want to dismantle it. I want to change it from the inside out.
I feel like school does that a lot to everybody as a general, like trying to push you to college, trying to push you into all of their STEM pathways or whatever. But it's honestly not helpful. It stresses people out, making them think like they have to make a decision now, and it's really not that important time-wise. I mean, you should have a general idea, but if you don't, it's not something that you should stress about. And I feel like schools do make you stress about it because they need money to keep going, which is valid to a certain degree, but when you're forcing so many people to stress out over things they don't need to, it's just very pointless, and it's quite angering, actually.
Is school really concerned about us finding our true calling, or do they just want to get us working?
Do you feel school prepares you to be spat out into the workforce?
Oh, entirely. You know, in fact, when the education system was first in its germinal stages, when it was first being developed, the whole reason why they were educating people was in the Industrial Revolution so that they could work these industrial jobs, right? And I feel like the system really hasn't changed much since then. I mean, you can see it in our culture. That we start so early, we get very little to no breaks. We get like a 20-minute lunch, right? And we just have this rigidity in our classes, and we're told that making a mistake equals outright failure, right? Creativity. I mean, when's the last time in like AP Euro that you thought about being creative? Honestly. And it's just, you know, with standardized testing even, just preparing you to memorization and recitation of facts, it's not a good thing, no.
It depends on what you mean by workforce. So, like, school tells you should go to college, and then college maybe will prepare you for things. School will also tell you that it's good to work at like a Quick Trip or, you know, some fast food restaurant, which is probably bad because they don't pay you any money. So, no, probably not.
I don't. I feel like the school acts like they do, but they don't. Like, they try to give you like the STEM program, but a lot of people don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know what pathway I'm in. And the school is like, yeah, we're helping kids get into new programs and all this. When really it's like 4% of the students are getting all these opportunities, and a lot of us don't even know about it just because they don't talk about it.
What do you feel about the automation of jobs?
Well, I think jobs being automated is not necessarily a horrible thing in the grand scheme of things, but automation should be paired with traditional labor standards. I think automation can make jobs easier, but I don't think that all of our jobs should be entirely replaced by robots. And I don't think that there will be jobs being replaced by robots. I still think that in 50, 60 years, we'll have those key customer service jobs and in-person, like, you know, a waitress, or HR, right? Stuff like that, where the human interaction is key, and that, you know, even the most advanced of AI just can't really get that human-to-human, heart-to-heart, mind-to-mind interaction. But I do think that automation can make easing the burden of jobs a little bit to make it so that workers aren't so strained mentally and physically.
I think automation of jobs is probably really important. Last year in debate, we talked to a London professor of economics, and sort of the theory he proposed about automation is that as capitalism evolves and sort of collapses in on itself, it will result in innovation that creates what he called the Star Trek matter creator. So in Star Trek, they have a machine that generates products for them because the technology is that advanced. So they no longer require a capitalist system because innovation has progressed enough that they can live sort of automatically without that labor.
With the responsibilities between work, school, and extracurriculars, students may feel overwhelmed and exhausted.
Do you feel burnt out from school or work, and why?
I personally do. I'm not an active person socially, so like being around a bunch of people all the time, being forced to use my mental state for so long without any breaks is very stressful and wears away at my energy.